Police Chief Judith Esteridge just shared her plan of action to battle violent crime in 2024. Esteridge says with the support of Mayor President Monique Blanco-Boulay, the department has begun to implement tactics and strategies that are designed to combat the violence we saw last year.
Some of these tactics include the placement of over 100 police cameras throughout the city and deploying more officers to areas of high crime activity. These and other tactics will aid us in locating individuals who are illegally carrying and discharging firearms in hopes that we can reduce the gun violence. I can assure you that individuals who elect to commit these crimes of violence will be arrested and prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
You can see the chief's full statement on our website. That's KLFY.com. We have new information for you on a 2020 shooting in Lafayette Parish. Sheriff's officials arrested 21-year-old Rustin Gunner of Carencro for the May shooting in the 400 block of DeJacque Road. Deputies say at the time of the shooting, a home with people inside was shot multiple times. Gunner was arrested Thursday and is charged with attempted first-degree murder, among other charges. His bond was set at $100,000. New Iberia police are looking for a murder suspect and need your help capturing him. We're told authorities say 19-year-old Landon Jackson is wanted for allegedly killing a 16-year-old boy. That was last month. As we first reported, the deadly shooting happened on the corner of Yvonne and Zez Streets. The juvenile was found suffering from gunshot wounds and later died at a hospital. Now, if you have any information on Jackson's whereabouts, please call New Iberia Police. In Iberia Parish, the sheriff's office is searching for the man responsible for stealing a package off someone's porch. As News 10's Dawson D'Amico reports, this suspect might be a repeat offender.
Here in Coachella, residents are looking to bring awareness to a porch pirate going up to their front doors and taking their packages for himself.
And they had a picture of exactly where they left it, a picture of the item. So I was like, okay, well, let me check my cameras. And that's when I saw the guy come and steal the package.
Lori Broussard says she did not recognize the man and immediately called the police. News 10 now has reason to believe the man struck again in Coteau after more footage surfaced on social media with the man doing the same thing, wearing the same gray outfit, black mask, and driving a red Chevrolet truck. I asked Broussard what her thoughts were about the possibility of another robbery by the same man taking place in the area.
It's sad that this is continuing, and he definitely needs to be stopped, of course.
Broussard advises everyone to have a home security system to keep eyes on your property, whether you are at home or away. She says it is the entire reason she knows what happened.
This shows me that people are just, they can be just very brave, and we never know what tomorrow can bring. And so I would definitely recommend people getting security camera footage, because you never know when you'll need it.
According to Broussard, law enforcement has a warrant out for the thief. The man's identity is currently unknown. In Iberia Parish, Dawson D'Amico, KLFY News 10.
So this morning, more than a dozen people continue to be displaced after a fire destroyed everything. It happened Thursday morning at the Santa Rosa apartment complex in Lafayette. Now, authorities say when firefighters arrived, the flames were coming from an upstairs unit and quickly spread to an adjacent unit, causing substantial fire damage to both. First responders rescued 2 people from that adjacent smoke-filled apartment. Authorities say the occupant of the first unit reported placing a pot with grease on the range top, then briefly stepping into another room before smelling something burning. That's when she realized the fire in the kitchen and called 911. And all 8 apartments, we're told, were damaged by the fire, but only 4 of the 8 units were thankfully occupied.
The fire started like traveling in the first room, so then I just grabbed my boys and I told them that we might have to jump. But then I was in the window just screaming at the firefighters, asking them to come and help us, and then they came with the ladder and then we got down, but we lost everything. We couldn't take nothing.
Authorities say no one was injured, but one dog died in the blaze. Jeff Landry will officially soon be governor, and for Democrats, that means a major change in how they operate in the state legislature. Republicans have a supermajority in both the House and the Senate, which means for bills that take 2/3 of the majority to pass, they theoretically will not need a Democrat to pass them. Political analyst Jeremy Alford says Democrats will have to work to establish partnerships with Republicans to get legislation through.
So Democrats find themselves in the weakest spot in maybe modern history in terms of legislative relations at the Capitol. So, you know, at one point, Democrats had enough numbers to where they could be a swing vote. Those numbers, just raw numbers, aren't there.
There will also be a huge class of freshman legislators sworn in as well. So just a heads up for you, Governor-elect Jeff Landry's inauguration has changed because of the weather. He and other state elected leaders will be sworn in during a ceremony on the steps of the Capitol Sunday. Again, that's Sunday afternoon at 4:30. We'll be live streaming it on our website at KLFY.com for you. U.S. House Republican Majority Leader Steve Scalise's staff says his cancer treatment is going well. Scalise is undergoing treatment for multiple myeloma, a kind of blood cancer. His team says he has completed chemotherapy and had a positive response. His office announced Friday he's undergoing a stem cell transplant, which is expected to keep him out of Washington and working remotely until February. Now, a statement was released reading in part, he is incredibly grateful to have progressed so well and is thankful to his entire medical team, family, friends, and colleagues for their prayers and support, end quote. Checking in with Trevor Sonnier over in the Weather Center. And Trevor, it's chilly out there, it's wet. We have the inauguration taking place now in Baton Rouge. A lot going on, but the weather don't seem to be cooperating.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they moved it because it looks like Monday will be a stormy day across Acadiana. Let's take a look at current conditions out there for this morning. You can see partly cloudy sky. You can't really see the sky yet. The sun has not risen. And we could see some fog out there. Not really seeing it on our Sky 10 camera in Lafayette, but we could see some of that starting to develop. 46 degrees in Lafayette, 42 in New Iberia, 37 in Lake Charles. Notice a half-mile visibility being reported at Lake Charles Airport, but still looking good at Lafayette and New Iberia airports with a visibility of 10 miles. Satellite radar shows partly cloudy skies for today as some wraparound clouds on the backside of that low pressure could still affect us. If we stay mostly cloudy, we'll most likely hover in the 50s. If we see some sunshine and more of it, we could get into the lower 60s for those highs. Either way, this storm system is now exiting the area, and yet another storm system will be impacting us by Monday. So the active weather pattern looks like it will continue. Temperatures rising through the 40s and 50s, getting into the lower 60s later on this afternoon if we manage to get those sunny skies, which our model does show us achieving later on today. And then for tomorrow, more in the way of clouds swinging our direction, high clouds, and that's in response to our storm system that will be moving through on Monday, giving us some heavier rainfall and maybe a severe weather threat as well. Temperatures rising for today. Notice our model showing upper 50s, lower 60s across the area. Cold night for tonight. Could be in the mid to upper 30s by tomorrow morning. I'll say about 38, 39, but we could be as low as around 35 to 36 if the colder models achieve. And then for tomorrow, it looks like we climb into the upper 50s to lower 60s once again. So a cool weekend, but it looks like we'll see sunshine, and we need it because we saw heavy rainfall yesterday, and then we could see more rainfall on Monday, and then maybe yet another system by the end of next week. Here's the upper level pattern. Notice our next system moving in for Monday, and this one could be quite strong. Strong low pressure, wind shear across the area. That's why we had that severe weather threat. And then even Wednesday and Thursday, more of a westerly flow across the area aloft. And here's our next system coming down the pipeline. This will be coming in for Friday, next Friday, and then maybe some Arctic air coming in on the backside of this one for next weekend. So it definitely looks colder in the long term. storm through the second and third week of January. Maybe some colder temperatures moving in. Here's another look at it on the European model. Low pressure develops here across the Texas Panhandle. Storms across the area. This low pressure matures and works off to the east, clears us out for Tuesday, Wednesday. But then by Thursday and Friday of next week, we have yet another low pressure that develops. So these low pressures have been developing consistently here through the past week to 10 days, and it looks like that pattern will continue. So the wet pattern continues across the area. It's been a wet start to the year so far. In terms of that severe weather potential, a level 2 risk of severe storms on Monday. It looks like damaging winds, tornadoes could all be in the mix. 62 your high today, partly cloudy and cool. A west wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. 7-day forecast shows the upper 50s to lower 60s again tomorrow, but a nice weekend ahead. A rain chance of about 70% for Monday, mid-50s Tuesday, upper 50s Wednesday, and then yet another system moves in for Thursday and Friday of next week. So the active weather pattern continues, and we'll continue to see cooler temperatures as well.